A lot of people, when they start sewing, have never used a serger before, so it can be kind of scary to try and use one for the first time. Hopefully this video will help you see that they really are fairly simple to operate, and they're very, very useful tools to have in our sewing repertoire. You can see right here, there are 2 needles, and they both attach here, and this moves them up and down. So we have our 2 needles, we have our knife and the arm, which the arm moves the knife up and down so it can cut our fabric nicely, and we have our presser foot right here, and we've got our feed dogs down below. The first thing I'm going to show you is when we serge around a piece of fabric before you sew any of the seams. Okay, so this would be like, I have my pattern pieces all cut out, and it says to serge around the edges of all my pieces. So that's what this would be for. And you're going to notice that I'm not going to cut off any fabric because I want my seam allowance to stay the same. So I'm just going to serge around, and I'm going to keep this edge even with this edge, and that'll make sure that my knife doesn't cut any of my fabric off, and I'm left with the same size of piece when I'm done serging. So I have this nice finished edge on my fabric, and it's not going to fray when I sew these pieces together. So that's one way that we use a serger, is serging before we sew pieces together. The next thing we can do with a serger is after you've already sewn a seam, then you can serge to reduce bulk and finish the seam as well. So on this one, this is the one that I've washed, and you can see it's really fuzzy. So normally you wouldn't stitch a piece together and then wash it before it's all done, but I just did that to show how much a fabric can fray if the seam isn't finished correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this stitching line up with the outside edge of the presser foot, and that will ensure that the knife cuts off the fuzz and finishes my seam nicely. And this time I'm sewing 2 layers of fabric. So I have 2 layers right here. I'm serging them together. Okay, so put this in here. So you can see I've serged along here, so this is one side and this is the other. But you can see it's this nice seam finish, and it's not ever going to fray, and all these interlocking stitches are going to keep it from falling apart and getting to that seam line. But I did trim all that fuzz off. So all the fuzz has been trimmed off, and I'm left with this beautiful, nice seam finish. So the last thing that I'm going to go over with actually serging is knit. And I love using my serger for knits. You can construct an entire garment or project out of knit with only using a serger. So with knits, you don't actually need a sewing machine if you have a serger to do the whole job. So when we serge on knits that have stretch, you can serge it and it's sewn and finished, and it will stretch. It will give a little bit with this knit fabric. So I'm going to show you really quick right here. I've got these 2 pieces with the right sides together. I'm just going to serge this edge up really quick. So what you can see here is that this serging actually stretches. So if this is on the inside of my garment and I have this and I want something that can stretch, that seam will give a little bit along with the fabric, and then you won't have that breaking of the threads when you're trying to stretch that. So that's something that's awesome about a serger. And there we are. So hopefully this video helped you become a little more comfortable with trying to use a serger, and good luck with your projects.